sorta like Einstein. Between genius and insanity lies a fine line. It be building up the man in me heavy when I rhyme. Pushing weight like a felony headed for mad time. See, I'm comparable to MJ in his prime. Think I'm giving up the crown for America's pastime. My best days still ahead of me. I see my prediction. Nostradamus with the mental position. My intuition keep on guiding me.
Hieroglyphic Visions, a digital marketing services company. We provide digital services for your company, such as flyer design, online marketing, ad placement, logo design, and more. Contact King Gahi at 706-914-6238 or email at kinggahi7@gmail.com. Let me bring your vision to fruition. Peace.
Chance to meet my maker at last. Explain I got a task upon this earth since birth. See if I pass, heard a blast and felt my body again. Feeling forgiven for sin and then reminded again. Voice in the wind telling me to go continue my path. I'll always be by your side. Go ahead and open your eyes so you can rise.
Hotel brothers and sisters, Black Power, as always, giving honor to the Creator, the ancestors. My sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul. My in-laws, my father, those subscribers and followers, and all of our ancestors, and those who are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. First I'm going to start off with this brother, Kendrick Johnson, who was rolled under a mat, football star and high school football star that was rolled under a mat in the gymnasium of his school, in which detectives ruled it an accident, which in turn was nowhere near a motherfucking accident. And how long will we let our brothers and sisters continue to be thrown in the garbage as waste every time they're murdered by one of these devils? You know, if you can see him, his feet are inside, he's rolled up inside the mat with his shoes next beside him. Now, how in the fuck could that have been an accident? And what did he do? Fall, roll himself up in the mat, and then place his shoes next to his feet while he was deceased. Total motherfucking bullshit. And this is how this brother looked. This is a medical examiner's photo. Now you tell me, do you call this a motherfucking accident? I want you to take a real good look at this autopsy photo of this brother and tell me, does that look like an accident? And these are two motherfucking devils. These are two crackers that was charged and questioned but released. In other words, these are the two motherfucking devils, these white pieces of shit, these goddamn ice apes, these Neanderthal motherfucking snow monkeys, savage motherfucking crackers that murdered this young man, probably because them stinking white bitches was probably jocking him by him being a football star, by him being melanated. And your inferiority complexes got the best of you. You just can't deal with the black man. And so what you did was murder that young man. But see, you crackers, and you can look at these two goddamn devils. They have not only a wealthy parents, but they have the system to back them up, where they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. These so-called white Zionist Jews, these motherfucking Russian mobsters, and their children. See, these motherfuckers get to go around doing whatever they want. These motherfuckers are beyond reproach. And we sit back and let this shit go on. Somebody should have dealt with these motherfuckers. But at this time, I want to take time to honor some of the brothers, some of the warriors that, as far as I'm concerned, have been putting in work for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. Professor James Smalls, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, who was murdered, was a straight up revolutionary, without doubt or contradiction. Brother Ashraf Kwesi and his god is Mary Ra, Queen Mary Ra. Brother Steve Coakley, who I believe is the greatest researcher that black people have ever seen. Steve Coakley is one of the greatest researchers that is known to us. I don't know anyone who can match him in terms of research, in terms of defending white supremacy as as far as crushing white supremacy as Steve Coakley did. Warrior who said when he was in the hospital, the first time he was hospitalized, he stated that they tried to take him out in that hospital. And the second time, prior to him going into the hospital, prior to him leaving home, he stated to his people that he probably will not be coming back, based on the experience that he had the first time when they tried to take him out. And actually, that's what happened. He never made it out the second time. Steve Coakley Jr., that's his son, who's in Ghana. Good friend of mine. And he's trying to follow in those big gigantic footsteps of his father. And I send hoteps and black power to you, brother. Dane Calloway, who I believe is an awesome researcher, investigative researcher. Although some things I disagree with Brother Dane, but at the same time, you know, he goes in all the way on a lot of topics, you know, and he gives you something to think about. And he also makes you, for those who are out here, for those who are researchers and so-called scholars, you know, Dane Calloway gives you a lot of topics and information to build on. You know, again, I don't agree with everything that he says, but at the same time, you know, he's a powerful investigative researcher. Yeah, he has opened up a lot of shit. He has opened up a lot of eyes. You know, he has attracted the attention of social media, so-called conscious community. You know, on a mass level. You know, so Hotep and Black Power to Brother Dane Calloway. Now let's talk about this Amber Geiger shit. You know, now, based on my research, I come to find out that this bitch, you know, let me back up for a minute. You know, you got motherfuckers now defending this bitch. All the attention is going on having compassion for this motherfucking bitch. This Texas pig bitch. Who deliberately murdered both them John. Deliberately murdered. It was intentional. It was nothing accidental about none of this shit. How in the fuck can you mistake your own house? Mistake somebody else's house for yours. That's bullshit. And based on my investigation, based on my research, I come to find out that, you know, it's a possibility that this bitch could have been jealous. Now, both of John, you know, he was fucking with these white bitches. And I keep telling y'all, leave these white bitches alone, man. He was fucking with these white bitches. And see, Amber Geiger, who's on the end with the black dress and sunshades on, you know, could have been hating on one of her friends. One of those other savage cave bitches. Because they may have been fucking with both of John. But at the same time, if you look at the photo very closely, you will. What do you see that's bizarre? Both of now the bitch Amber Geiger and both of John both are wearing sunshades. You know, is that a coincidence or what? They both are wearing sunshades. And I believe that it is more to this. I believe this was a case of, you know, this bitch probably watched Lifetime, those Lifetime movies where these white bitches get obsessed with a motherfucker, you know, and does some old fucked up shit, you know, and take the life of someone who doesn't want to fuck with them, you know, and that's what it appears to me. Now, another thing that's fucked up that I found to be more of a cover-up, because the bitch had different stories every day. She come up with a different story every day. I don't know if you can see this very clear, but this is the warrant, the first warrant that was issued to Amber Geiger. Now, this was 3 days after she killed both of them John. You know, after she killed, she was walking around, driving around in her squad car like nothing ever happened before she was actually served with a warrant for 3 days. You know, she had time to just flee the country or whatever. But I would read the warrant to you. But you not being able to read it, I'll just give you a brief synopsis of it, where it stated that she lived in 1478. He lived in He lived above her. So how can she have gotten the wrong, mistaken apartment when she lived a floor or an entire floor under this brother? You know, the times and dates are wrong, and now what they're doing, they are investigating both of John, tearing his motherfucking house up, looking for weapons and drugs and all this old bullshit. You know. And now let's say if it was the other way around, if both of John was the cop and he got the wrong house, the wrong apartment, he went to the wrong apartment and shot and killed Amber Geiger's motherfucking ass. He would have been lynched last month. So, you know, but they'll do what they want to us because they know there's no repercussions. There's nothing behind it. We'll march. And we'll get 30 motherfuckers to march with picket signs. You know. And then Al Sharpton or Jesse and will tell everybody to go home and let the law prevail. And then once again, you know, it's another notch under the cracker's belt for taking one of us out. And let me tell you something. If it happens to you, you can expect the same motherfucking results or the same actions, if not less. Don't think if it happened to you, then it's going to be, then schools will be closed and there'll be all out riots and all of that shit. No. The same shit is going to happen to you when one of these crackers or one of these white savage motherfucking cops take you out of here. Bill Cosby, let's send our energies and may the ancestors protect him. He's being sentenced today. Now, let me just explain this to you. Let me just say this. Rape is a savage motherfucking act. It is a very savage act. It is a very brutal act. And I don't see Bill Cosby raping 30 plus women. Now, I'm not going to say that he didn't get caught up in a little hanky-panky because, you know, in the 70s and 80s, you know, everybody was, you know, in Hollywood, you know, had the long fingernails and blowing coke and taking Quaaludes and all this type of shit. And, you know, if you agreed to come to some guy's house in the middle of the night, you know what time it is. But see, this was a all-out effort to annihilate Bill Cosby's career and take him out of here. Why? Because Bill Cosby became a powerful figure in the television networks. Very, very powerful figure. And crackers don't like when a brother or sister has more power than them. You can have all the money in the world, but when it comes to power and control, the cracker wants all power and control. And what happened when he made the attempts to buy NBC, and he had white Jewish so-called Jews that were investors to back Bill up on the purchase of NBC. That's when the orders came in to send Bill a message. And what happened? This is what happened with Bill. They took his son out of here. They took Ennis Cosby out of here. Yeah, it was a calculated effort to send a message to Bill Cosby by taking Ennis Cosby out of here. And the way they went about doing it was sort of blatant. The way these crackers murdered Ennis Cosby. This is a picture of Ennis Cosby after being shot in the head with supposedly he had a flat tire and he was changing his tire. Now, this is where the shit comes in at. During that time, Mercedes had a limited edition of cars that would actually, the tires would actually reinflate themselves if they if they hit a flat or a pothole or something and the tire got flat. It would reboot itself, reinflate itself. So the jack sitting there was a setup. It was strategically placed there to create a crime scene. Now, it was a white bitch that set Ennis Cosby up, that got him to a secluded area in LA, right off the freeway, in the middle of the night. This bitch here. See, I don't have to go into a whole bunch of names because, like I told you all before, I'll let you do your research. So you can you can come up with your own analysis of what you think happened. Not just in this case, in everything that I do. But as you see, this is the bitch that was paid to get Ennis, in an isolated area off the LA freeway. And see, this is another thing. This is another incident, and why I tell you, brothers and sisters, leave these motherfucking crackers alone. He was another one that had a taste for the motherfucking cave bitch. And it cost him his life. And as you see, this motherfucker here, this so-called Israeli Mossad Zionist motherfucker, who had connections with the Russian mafia, because his father, who that bastard is deceased now, was a known hitman for the Russian mob. And see, he wears this shit proudly. As you can see, he's he was on lockup in protective custody. That's why he had his finger up. See, that shit looks hard, like he's locked down and he got a chain around his waist, like, he's one of the notorious motherfuckers in jail, but he's on protective custody. Because he know his head will get cracked wide motherfucking open if he came out in the general population around the real goddamn G's. This motherfucking punk here. This punk here. And I know for some of you thorough G's that are watching this, I know you'll say to yourself, if you was locked down or you encountered him, you would put the straight smash on this motherfucking punk. See, when they got mom and pop to back them up and their money and their papers long, they got connections with the judicial system and all this shit. Their uncles are bail bondsmen and all this type of shit. See, they can elude going to the motherfucking pen. And if they do go, they can buy protection. And I've seen some niggas look out for some of these crackers just for some goddamn food and drugs, like they were like they were brothers. But anyway, and then you had one of the white bitches. Most white bitches when they head wet, they look like white boys. But one white bitch that look like a straight goddamn man. That's the one that keeps pressing Bill and pressing on for time because Bill wasn't willing to give her no motherfucking money. See, you have to look at these white bitches. See, these white bitches, their careers failed. Bill didn't give them an opportunity. Probably tricked them. And they yell rape. But they ride Bill Cosby's ass every motherfucking day. Even though he said some sellout shit in the early 90s. But at the same time, look at Roman Polanski. This motherfucker raped a young girl, fled the country, won an Academy Award. He won a motherfucking Oscar, and they gave him his Oscar via telescreen. While this motherfucker was a fugitive from justice, on the run. They gave this motherfucker an Oscar. And you got bitches like Whoopi Goldberg and all these, Oprah and all them clapping for this motherfucker while he was a fugitive from justice. He still hasn't been brought to justice to this day. But yet, and then you got niggas going around saying Bill Cosby this, Bill Cosby that. You don't know. Nobody don't know really what type of nigga Bill Cosby is. But what we do know, common sense will tell you he's not no savage motherfucking rapist. We should have got enough. We should have said no more, never again, like the so-called white Jews said. Never again, when they got Mike Tyson on that shit. Fuck Kobe Bryant. I'm talking about Mike Tyson. When they tricked him, when he was on his way to breaking Marciano's motherfucking record, they did everything that they could to gate that shit, to prevent him from breaking that motherfucking record. And they set him up with Desiree Washington, a slut hoe. And when Bill Cosby had his show called Cosby, this young sister here played a bartender, and they tried to coerce her, and she even admitted it. They tried to coerce her to say that Bill Cosby took advantage of her, but she refused to take that motherfucking route. She said nothing happened. And I take my hat off to sisters like that didn't, like those bitches, those black and white bitches that are saying Bill Cosby raped them. And everybody wants to see an 80-year-old man, black man, go to jail that's half blind. For what? None of you talking about Roman Polanski. Nobody saying nothing about Donald Trump. He's a sick motherfucker. Anytime he rapes a porn star, it's bad enough the white bitch is already a stinking slut bitch anyway, but a porn star? Please. And Steve Coakley taught us about the boule, which Bill Cosby was part of. These fraternities, these black fraternities, Sigma Pi Phi being the first one in 1909, which is the boule, which you see the gargoyle right there with the urn, and inside the urn there are little squares that represents white supremacy. All the different factions of white supremacy. And the paw is over the urn because the gargoyle protects white supremacy and keeps the rest of the blacks at a subordinate level, meaning keep the other blacks oppressed by other blacks. That's the Boule Sigma Pi Phi. Vernon Jordan. I mean, it's over 3,000 niggas in the Boule. Males. The Sigma Pi Phi is a male black fraternity. You know, Mr. Ed, this racehorse mouth faggot, Steve Harvey. Did you see he got his Boule, his alpha signs up? See, this shit, this is a motherfucker. This is a secret, so-called secret fraternity where they perform rituals every year in Atlanta. You know, and they pattern themselves after Skull and Bones. You know, in Yale, where George Bush and John Kerry and all those motherfucking crackers were a part of. Where they had to get in the casket naked, masturbate, and tell their most innermost secrets, and lay in the casket with another man, naked. And the Boule does something similar to Skull and Bones. You know, Steve Harvey might, the alpha sign, he got his hands up, it might mean that his asshole is open. I don't know. Al and Jesse, Boule. Miss Quincy Jones, Oprah Winfrey, Boule. And see, Booker T. Washington, Boule. W.E.B. Du Bois. And see, the NAACP, you know, they honor these motherfuckers. You know, but they were a hindrance to black liberation. Because J. Edgar Hoover used these two niggas when Marcus Garvey had the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association. J. Edgar Hoover gave them another program to counter the UNIA called the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And they haven't changed the name since 1919. And these niggas still saying they fucking colored. And that's what happened. They used that organization to destroy Marcus Garvey. And they used these two niggas to bring Marcus Garvey down. And that's Edgar Hoover. He looked like a nigga right there. One of the biggest, most powerful homosexuals ever, next to Julius Caesar. He was director of the FBI. He started in the 20s. And his first assignment, his first major assignment was to bring down Marcus Garvey. Here's Marcus Garvey being taken in custody, taken to Atlanta Penitentiary for his Back to Africa movement. You know, because he was trying to get our ancestors up out of here. Then he went to King. Now you got Muriel McCullough, Jesse Jackson, Ralph Abernathy, and Dr. King on the balcony. What do you notice about McCullough and Jesse? They don't have on neckties. And Dr. King and Jesse always argued. They argued till the day he was shot. Because Martin said, you need a tie to go to dinner. Jesse refused to wear a tie because the code was the FBI's code to the U.S. Army Green Beret sniper team that was on the roof of the firehouse directly across from the Lorraine Motel, that friendlies, meaning people that were on their team, will not be wearing neckties. And Muriel McCullough was an FBI informant, and so was Jesse. And so I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna do part 2 to this very, very shortly. I have an emergency to take care of right quick, and I'll be back with you all very shortly. I'm gonna do part 2 with this today. Hotep, Black Power.